So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and I'm sure you're aware of everything that was announced, but we're going to talk a little bit more about it here and my reactions, my take on what happened today at the Apple Steve Jobs theater out in California. Tim Cook took the stage and let Steve Jobs announce his theater through like a little, talk he did, a little inspirational talk and stuff like that. I kind of expected Steve Jobs to make some kind of appearance, even if it was digital, at his theater. It is his theater after all. Then they went on to talk about the retail stores. So the retail store, like the one that's coming in the Apple Park campus, is a big, spaceship looking campus where Apple's going to conduct their business. There's going to be a visitor center as well as an Apple store there. So if you're out there, you might want to go check it out. Also in Chicago, where I'm from, they got the Apple store on Michigan Avenue. I got pictures of it on my Instagram page. You can go ahead and follow me there at the Nick Ackerman channel. They're building one right on the river in Chicago, Illinois. So they did talk a little bit about their retail stores. Then we got on to the Apple Watch Series 3, which was very well rumored. A lot of people knew this was coming. This Apple Watch Series 3 brings cellular data, and there was actually a lot of, clapping and cheering for the ability to use your Apple Watch without Wi-Fi and without having your iPhone on, period. There was a lot of, clapping for that, probably more than any other product I've seen in this event. So the Apple Watch Series 3 is going to be priced at about $399 for cellular, $329 for the one without cellular, and the Series 1 gets a price cut to $249, which makes the Apple Watch accessible to a lot more people. In addition to that, the Apple TV 4K was announced. This was actually, expected as well. We knew Apple was going to update their TV to 4K. 4K is pretty much becoming the standard 4K TVs everywhere. So why not update your Apple TV to work with it? It just makes logical sense for Apple to do this. And it's not too, surprising. It's going to be very clear picture and basically what we expect. The A10X chip is coming to the Apple TV, so it's going to be a very fast, snappy experience. But I mean, there wasn't too much fanfare or rave or clapping about that because, it's an Apple TV. All of the ones that they've already had already work pretty well. So having a faster processor, cool, but it's not super exciting if you ask me. And then the products we've been waiting for, the iPhones, were announced. So the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, they should have probably been called the S line because they really do look like an S line. You have the same exact design as the iPhone 7 on the iPhone 8 with a glass back. So not exactly the same, but I mean, when it comes to looks, if you show somebody an iPhone 8 or an iPhone 7, they're gonna look very similar. You do have those same thick bezels on the front as well, but you do get updated True Tone display. You do get the A11 Bionic chip, which is gonna basically probably crush everything on the Android market right now. In addition to that, the 8 Plus also looks very similar. They come in 3 different colors. They come in a silver, a space gray, and a new gold color for both of those phones. The dual camera has been updated on the iPhone 7 Plus to give you a little bit better aperture and better light. So it brings in a lot more light. So I do think the cameras are going to be a nice update over the 7 and the 7 Plus this year on those phones, and those come in at $699 and $799. Now the iPhone X that was priced at $1,000 is going to overshadow this, but if you were paying attention to the details, the iPhone 7 or 8 Plus and 8 also got price increases from like $769 last year to $799. So they went up like $30 even on those phones. So both phones this year are increased when it comes to their price point. And finally, the iPhone 10 or the iPhone X, the Roman numerals for iPhone 10. It makes sense. It's 10 years later and they announced this new one with the vertical camera. I got a clone here and I got a dummy here. These actually look exactly like what you're getting. This one's actually a little bit closer to the actual model here. This is the dummy for cases, but you can see vertical camera comes, dual camera setup, A11 Bionic chip coming to this thing, gesture controls, a little cutout similar to what the Essential phone had already. And it's just going to be one of those phones that kind of falls in line to what Samsung users have been having all year in the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, as well as, the Essential phone and stuff like that. But that phone just dropped. I think Samsung is the innovator this year when it comes to all screen. Apple just followed along and brought their new all-screen design on their iPhone. Now, this is going to be the first iPhone that does give you a Super Retina display, and I'm actually excited about this because Apple's been sticking with their 326 PPIs and their 401 on the Plus models for the longest time. So it's not going to be too much sharper than the iPhone 7 Plus, but I do expect better brightness, better contrast ratio. It's an OLED panel, but it's still outdone by the likes of Samsung with their AMOLED panels. And you could thank Samsung for having, getting those panels to Apple, because they're the #1 supplier this year. Overall though, the iPhone 10 is gonna give you extremely fast performance. The Apple Face ID was announced as well. So the Face ID allows you to basically take your iPhone, you're gonna just look at it and it's gonna unlock. Now they do have the A11 Bionic chip coupled with the neural network. So the neural networks are basically gonna scan your face, detect it, and it's actually 1 in a million chance somebody can spoof your phone, AKA way better than the Touch ID, because Touch ID was a 1 in 50,000 chance. So you're actually getting a much more secure unlock with your face. So Face ID is welcome if you ask me. It's gonna have a gesture base, no more home button, and I think people are gonna not like that. But you gotta remember, Apple did not drop their historic iPhones. Their whole line is even larger now. You still have the 8 Plus, you still have the 8 if you want a more traditional iPhone. But for those geeky people or those people who wanna be on the cutting edge, the bleeding edge, me, the iPhone 8 is definitely going to give you all of that stuff. In addition to that, another feature that wasn't talked about too much and not too hyped up in this event, but it's definitely gonna be a huge feature for videographers and camera people on their smartphones, and that's the 4K at 60 FPS. This is one of the first phones to do that on any smartphone, and that's gonna be fantastic. Also, the iPhone 10 gives you dual optical image stabilization in the cameras, making for super crispy, smooth video no matter which camera you are using. We should talk a little bit about the animated emojis coming to your iPhone. So basically, you're gonna look at your iPhone and you're gonna be able to talk and record, and the emoji is gonna respond to your face. It's all done through that neural network stuff with the, with the Face ID. So this is gonna be probably exclusive only to the iPhone 10. Also, all the iPhones are gonna support wireless charging, which is pretty exciting because, a lot of people love their wireless charging, and Apple also introduced the AirPower Mat. So the AirPower Mat's gonna give you the ability to put your Apple Watch, your iPhone, all on this little mat that's gonna charge everything at once, which I think is pretty dope if you do use a bunch of Apple products. Pretty cool too is this also opens up a wide variety of people to make new products for the iPhone, which is gonna be new businesses and stuff like that, which I'm always excited about, and it always pushes society forward. So iOS 11, something that I've been very excited about for the longest period of time, and I've been covering it on this channel. It's gonna be available for all devices on September the 19th, so subscribe to this channel if you wanna get the in-depth coverage. I'm doing iOS content on all iPhones that I do currently on, which is pretty much the entire lineup. It has all the processors except for the newest one, so you might want to stick around here if you want to know how your phone's going to perform on the iOS 11. And that's pretty much everything in a nutshell that I could give you here in this video. Now there's a little bit more details, if you want to get into all the little specifics, we'll do that later this year when we get the phone on hand on the channel, but this should give you a good idea. There was an Apple Watch 3, retail stores, the new Apple campus, those are things outside. There is a new Apple 4K TV, the iPhone 8, the iPhone 8 Plus, and the iPhone 10 all come in new colors. Doesn't look like we have product red just yet. That might come later. We'll have to see. But you might be saying, Nick, okay, I understand. I watched it too. I read it too. What is your take on it? I want to know your take, or else this is just an advertisement. This is just another announcement. This is not a review. Well, basically, I'm pretty excited about, I'm actually excited about the 8 Plus. I think it offers one banging, processor for $799. And what I mean by that is almost any Android phone that's gonna give you an $800 price point, you're gonna get a Snapdragon 835 with 4 to 6 gigs of RAM. Now the A10 has proven to beat pretty much every Android phone, and the A11 steps it up even more. They said something like 70% faster in certain areas and 30% faster in just raw performance. So that's exciting to me, the iPhone 8 Plus. Now the iPhone 10, it's not groundbreaking, but it's still exciting. So I do like to see all those new features. As an S8 Plus user though, that phone didn't blow me away, and coming in at $999, you are gonna have to pay to play with this one. They were kind of quiet on their 256 gig pricing. We're gonna have to see later, probably 1200, 1100, something like that. But as an S8 Plus user, the all-screen iPhone didn't shock me too much, but I'm excited to update my iPhone 7 Plus to the next iPhone 8 Plus. But we will be covering everything here even more in depth on the channel. I will have the iPhone X10 on the channel as soon as possible. I'm just like you, just like everyone else. We go out and buy the phones. We do the content here on the channel. In addition to that, I will have the iPhone 8 Plus on the channel. I'm gonna see about about the 8. You know, I'm not too hyped about the little 8, the little smaller 8, but if you guys requested enough, maybe we'll bring that one as well. Anyway, this was Nick here helping you to master your technology. That was pretty much everything you needed to know from this Apple event today. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let's chat about them down below in the comments section of this video. It was a pretty great day for Apple news and stuff like that. Anyway, if you're new here, consider subscribing for more tech videos like this. I got Galaxy Note 8 on the way coverage coming, as well as iOS 11 next week. Plenty coming for the rest of this holiday season. I will catch you all in the next episode. Be sure to be well and peace.